guys, welcome to my channel. My name is ReadingBear and I hope you are ready for some more stories. And today, we'll take a look at some new I Don't Work Here Lady content. If you enjoyed my content, please don't forget to subscribe to my channel and post some bear emojis in the comment. And now, let's dive right into the stories.
The first story is titled Not Only Do I Not Work Here, But No One Does. This is my apartment. So basically, I live in a small apartment above a bar that has a really good kitchen. Over time I've become friends with the owners, who are really great people. This past weekend, there was lots of noise coming from the bar at about midnight, so I came to complain. They said they couldn't do much about the noise, it was a crowd watching a game, but if I came in at some point this week, they'd give me dinner for free as an apology. That brings us to yesterday. I'd gotten off work late and didn't feel like cooking, so decided to cash in that aforementioned free dinner. As I'm eating, things start to get really loud and busy again, so I asked for my meal to be put into a to-go container. The owner said I could just take the plate upstairs, as long as I return it later that night or the next day. As I'm leaving, still shoveling fries into my mouth, I notice a woman trying to flag me down from her table. I assumed she was looking at a server behind me, so I took no notice and walk outside, carrying my dinner. I put down the plate to open my door, and while I'm rooting through my pocket I feel a sharp tap on the shoulder. "L, Lady M me. L, don't just ignore me like that. I ordered almost 40 minutes ago and I've not got my food. This is unacceptable. This can't be true, considering even when it's packed I've never waited longer than 30. M, okay? Not quite sure what she wants. L, what do you mean okay? What are you going to do about it? I want my meal discounted for this. M, now realizing what's happened, oh. I don't work there, you'll need to speak to someone who does about doing that. Turning, opening door. L, don't lie to me. Looks past me, up the stairs, I know you guys are just hiding up there instead of working. I'd like to speak to the owner. M, lady, this is my apartment, please leave me alone, holding door open while I bend over to pick up my meal. L, pushes past me and charges up the stairs, screaming as she goes, you guys better get back to work, there are people waiting to be served down here. Duck. What the duck? At this point she's reached the top of the stairs and is now looking around my room, realizing the only person she was yelling to was my fish, who I'm sure wasn't in any mood to serve her anything after that. M, see? Get the duck out of my apartment. Angry, tired and fantasizing about the burger on the plate in my hand. L, well, it doesn't change the fact that I've been waiting ages for my food, and that's unacceptable. Clearly, looks at my plate, you know the owners, so I think you should still talk to them for me. M, what the duck? Get out. Exclamation mark. I'm out of patience at this point, and begin to walk towards her and try to usher her back down the stairs. L, don't touch me. If you don't care, I'll find someone who does. She ran back down the stairs and slammed the door on the way out, however not before kicking a pair of my shoes into the street, which I then had to go out and collect. I saw the owner today when I gave the plate back, and he said the lady had come back down and caused a scene in the bar. Eventually the bouncer removed her. I couldn't believe she still tried to act like she was right, even after she realized she was standing in my apartment, not a restaurant. The next story is titled I Just Want My Coffee. Obligatory, this happened about 3.5 months ago. I work as a management consultant at a firm where we travel to companies and businesses to improve their organization in certain areas. I won't get into the details of the work as it does not matter in this case. I have been at the company, we'll call ABC for security, for about a week, meeting with the management team to gather information in order to start analyzing potential risk areas. Note the building that we are in has about 100+ employees, all for the same company. I have just finished an entire morning with my team and some of company ABC's managers/directors/VPs, I decided to take a short break to grab a coffee at the cafeteria downstairs. On my way to the elevator, a lady in her mid-40s, we'll call her CL, short for corporate lady, and M for me, called towards my direction, and it went like this. CL, hey, you, come here. I completely ignored her as I didn't think she was trying to get my attention, so I kept on walking towards the elevator. Now in my peripheral vision, I see the CL speed walking towards me and it immediately got into my personal space in seconds. CL, hey Junior, I'm talking to you. How dare you ignore me? Exclamation mark. Note that I am in my late 20s, but thanks to my Asian gene, I look like I'm 18 to 20. Which is probably why bouncers at bars always triple check my ID. My visitor pass is also clipped to my belt. Thinking I misheard that she cussed at me, I'm sorry, what did you say? CL, are you as incompetent as you are deaf? Go to IT and let them know my computer is having issues with printing, and while you are at it, grab me some, forgot what supplies she wanted, from downstairs. Sorry miss, but I don't work for you, I'm just trying to get a coffee. CL, so ing what? As an intern, you should be listening orders from all senior level people. Also, you shouldn't be on coffee break when everybody else are working. Exclamation mark. Wait what? No, you don't understand, CL immediately cuts me off. CL, listen kid, you get that ST done right now or I'm gonna report you to your manager for poor teamwork and ignoring helps of others. First, you need to talk calmly and politely, then you need to understand that I don't, she cuts me off again. CL, I'm the manager, you are not. Now, I don't want to hear your lazy ass excuses, just get it done ASAP, I have an important meeting in the afternoon. She storms off right after. I mean obviously I'm not going to do what she asked, so I shrugged it off and got my warm caffeinated lover. Also I know one issue to bring up on why the company is losing young talents so quickly. The afternoon meeting starts again and we're to meet with a new set of managers from other departments. Lo and behold, CL enters the room muttering something with a director or VP I can't remember. She looked at me and immediately said, CL, yeah, that's the kid who didn't get my ST fixed, so I don't have all the files ready. Why the hell is he here? I guess the moment she said that, something clicked in her head and she realized I'm not with the company, but rather the people they pay a hefty bill rate for. I explained the situation briefly because I want to get the current day agenda out of the way, and said we can speak with HR after the meeting to clear up the issue. CL sat through the meeting without really saying a single word unless we asked her questions directly regarding her department. I am certain that she got in a ton of trouble with HR and her supervisors as I didn't see her for the remaining 3 weeks I was there. All of her department information were handled by a guy who supposedly reports to her. The next story is titled I Don't Work Here, and a venomous manager tried to write me up for it. Oh boy, I'm tired of being recognized. I live in a relatively small podunk college town, with 3 grocery stores, a dying mall, and a slightly decent downtown. Because I work in one of those grocery stores and a pharmacy, I'm often identified when I'm out and about, and for some reason, I just look like I work there, wherever this mythical there is. This took place a few years ago, and since the manager is no longer with the store, I think I can write it up without retribution. I've got long hair, a beard, am a bit on a heavy side, and I normally wear rock t-shirts and a leather biker jacket when I'm not at work. I wear this like armor, as I'm actually very passive and I don't want to be bothered when I'm out and about. I look tough, but there's nothing tough about my marshmallow soul. I've just finished watching a movie at our local dying mall, having gone myself since I just wanted to get away for a while, and am currently wearing a Doctor Who hoodie and jeans, hair down and a Guns N' Roses t-shirt. As I'm exiting the theater, I hear the dreaded voice, the entitled call of the snooty customer. Hey! Hey you! I turn around, and see your average soccer mom, with bleach blonde hair and a purse big enough to brain a camel, carrying a large collection of trash. She's holding the trash with one hand, her struggling child with the other, and stares at me pointedly. I don't want to believe what's about to happen, but I steel myself. Yes? Throw this away. No please, no asking, just a demand. I glance to a trash can that's only 5 feet from where she's standing. Why? Oh, you'd think I'd just offered to split her child in half in front of her with a broadsword. You work at big box store, you're used to this. Amazing. She knows I don't work there, but she still thinks I'm put on this earth to serve her. I just roll my eyes and turn away, scooting towards the bathroom. Sorry ma'am, gotta pee. And I do just that, taking a quick leak and a long time washing my hands. By the time I exit, the woman and her kid are gone. I figure that's all that's going to happen with this, just some entitled person who thinks that I work in retail, she can just treat me like an indentured servant. Oh boy, was I wrong. 2 days later I'm back at work, cleaned up, hair in a ponytail, in uniform, just doing my thing slinging drugs at the pharmacy, when one of our most hated managers shows up. Let's call her GLaDOS. Mostly cause the antagonist of Portal is how she's always seemed to me. Passive-aggressive, snobby, and more than happy to toss her weight around. Wyattly, would you come with me, please? I am a bit shocked, since I've not been in trouble with this job for over 5 years, and my mind immediately starts spinning through anything I may have done in the past week or so. GLaDOS takes me back to the manager office, picks up some papers, and has a seat. Wyattly, I had a complaint about you the other day from a customer. I sink down, trying not to shake with panic. What have I done? She says you were very rude to her at the movie theater the other day, and refused to help her. Silence. I just blink a few times at GLaDOS. I'm sorry, what? GLaDOS repeats the accusation. When you work for this company, you represent us, even when you're not on the clock. Now, I'm only going to give you a coaching, but I want you to watch what you do in the future. No. GLaDOS looks back at me in shock. Did I just say no to her? What do you mean, no? I said, no. I'm not taking a coaching for something that happened off the clock. I lean forward, folding my hands in my lap and glaring at her. Why are there no other managers here? Why is my pharmacy manager not here? Shouldn't he be here when I'm being coached by someone that's not even over my department? Speaking of which, where's our department manager? Could you show me where in the Code of Conduct handbook it says I can't refuse to clean up after someone when I'm not on the clock? Doesn't it say in the training videos we watch when we start not to work off the clock? GLaDOS is doing her best impression of a gaping fish by this point, eyes wide and staring back at me. I don't think she was expecting the happy-go-lucky nerd in the pharmacy to take such a hard line and not just roll over to her casual bullying. I stood up and opened the door. If you want to take it up with my manager, please do. But do know that if I hear anything about this, I'll take this all the way to the store manager, your boss. Corporate, if I have to. I left, shaking with anger. I'd heard others in the store idiot about this manager before and how she'd try to toss her weight around, but I'd never had it happen to me before. I don't know if the original customer was a friend of GLaDOS and she thought she'd get some revenge, but I never heard anything else on the matter. 2 months later, GLaDOS was let go in a store restructuring. Every other manager was shifted or reassigned, but she was the only one to be shown the door. The next story is titled Starbucks Workers Don't Get Paid Enough to Deal with You, Karen. I'm a medical professional. I've been dealing with people who think COVID is a hoax, or not serious, etc. Please don't debate that here, the post is not about that. Karen me B, barista. I walk into Starbucks and distance myself on the little circles they have that are 6 feet away from each other. There are just a few people in the store and it's pretty big so I felt safe. I'm minding my business, browsing Reddit, when this Karen walks in. I didn't notice her until I heard a barista say, "Excuse me, you need a mask to be inside the store." I turned to witness a look of horror on this woman's face, as if she didn't see the countless signs stating you need a mask, and or she didn't realize there was a pandemic. K. All I want is a coffee. B. I'll be happy to make you one when you put a mask on. K. But me, nope. K. What? Me, nope. These workers don't get paid enough to make coffee and babysit children. K. Excuse me, nope. K. I'm me, out. She goes to speak again, nope, out. It felt like I was talking to a misbehaving puppy, and she looked just as sad. So she turned to the only line of defense she had left. K. I'll get you fired. Me. I don't work here. K. I'll find your boss. Me. I am my boss. She short circuits, makes that weird grunting angry sound and leaves. I can't stand when these anti-maskers involve people who aren't paid to deal with their crap. And even people who are not paid enough. The next story is titled "I Was Fired 3 months after I quit." This all happened many moons ago when I was 16. My first job was a hot spring/pool as a lifeguard. The water park featured a few large hot tub pools, a cold pool, and 2 water slides where only one ever worked at any one time. I worked there during the winter when everything was open, including the slide, outside of the one cold pool. There were many odd things about the job, one of which was that I was expected to sit outside in a little uninsulated shack, fully clothed with a coat on and guard people's lives. I was never sure exactly what I would have done if someone would have gone under and needed me to go in. Another odd thing is that I was paid from a personal check from the manager. I never really understood that one. I worked there for minimum wage, for one fall and winter. When springtime came, I was hired by another large pool, that was much closer to my home, for an actual lifeguarding job. Where this was my first job, my dad was trying to teach me how to be a gainful, fulfilling, employed and responsible individual, and said it was customary to provide 2 weeks' notice. He also said that 1 month notice was more appropriate if the job is one where there cannot go without my position. We decided that I would give 1 month notice, since there were only 3 lifeguards and they would need to hire a replacement. I gave my notice in February and said I would work for 1 month. After that date came and passed, I got a call from the manager who was upset that I hadn't come into work. I told him that my 1 month was past and that I had quit. He asked me to work a bit longer until they could find my replacement. The manager kept scheduling me and I kept working, but each time I ran into him he wasn't always there in the evenings. I would remind him that I had quit. By May, he was still scheduling me, so I left him a note that I wouldn't be coming in anymore and that I wouldn't be checking the schedule anymore. He called me the next Friday night, apparently a shift I was scheduled for, and chewed me out over not coming into work. He told me that I wasn't responsible enough to work when scheduled, that he would have to fire me. I yelled back into the phone, "You can't fire someone who quit 3 months ago." He kept yelling at me and telling me how horrible of an employee I was and how I'll never be able to hold down a job as an adult. My dad was in the room and could hear every word he said, and he finally took the phone from me and delivered a rebuke so satisfying that it belonged in a Liam Neeson movie. My dad is not someone that raises his voice, but he has this way of talking quieter that scares the crap out of you. He finished his talk by telling my long-since former manager that he would be driving out to the hot springs to finish their conversation. He never drove out. He thought it would be more painful on the guy, who was fairly young himself, to have to wonder when my dad was going to show up. If you enjoyed the video, please subscribe to the channel and post some bear emojis in the comments.